Shalom, shalom, it's the brother Kadash. I want to start off by giving all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders. Peace, blessings, and honors to all the brothers in this truth. This is real quick on the RT News. This is an article they had up, published June 8th. It says sting of the century. So, sting of the whole century, right? 100 years. It says FBI in Australia police trick criminal gangs into using surveillance chat app make hundreds of arrests. So they made hundreds of arrests off this. I think they said in the span of 3 years. I'm gonna go through the article, but it's important, and I'm reporting on it is to show you how these nations are working together. So this is talking about the FBI, which is the U.S. and Australia. They came together and they tricked them because they made this app where they thought that it was secure for them to chat on and run their businesses and they illegal operations off this chat app. And they thought that it was secure, but the whole time the FBI was using it. So it was kind of like a trap that was set. Now let's go through it. It says the FBI and Australian police have been secretly reading a secure chat app popular with organized crime for several years. So they're long suffering, man. And this is how the devil is. Like, they wait years and years and years to get you. It says the operation, dubbed the sting of the century, in the media resulted in hundreds of arrests. Criminals have been using the supposedly high secure encrypted chat app Anam, which I never heard of it, but it says which was installed on mobile phones brought on the black market. So you buy the mobile phones on the black market and it's already installed. And the Australia Federal Police, the AFP, said in a statement on Tuesday the devices were stripped of all other functions and only could send messages via Anam, which was becoming increasingly popular in criminal circles. But the whole time the FBI was behind it. And this is important. Why? Because this shows you the power, the control that they're going to have when they go to that new world system, the internet of all things, and everything's hooked up to the internet. This is why they want everything to be hooked up to the internet. Even you yourself, with forcing you, Revelations 13, verse 16, telling you, forcing you, and tricking you into getting the mark of the beast, which is the implant chip. So you could be hooked up to the internet of all things, and everything could be digital. Therefore, you're going to leave a digital footprint, and they're going to be able to control you and track you down just like this. Now this says what the users did not know was that the app was covertly run by the FBI. So they using this, they hearing from word of mouth, yeah, get it off the black market, the phones. Yeah, it has a chap at Anam on it, and we could conduct business and we could talk over that. Whole time the FBI is behind it. They created it. It says, and the Australian police helped to decrypt the messages. So they decrypting them. All your messages they got access to, and they sitting back, studying it and decrypting it. It says these criminals, influencers put the AFP in the back pocket of hundreds of alleged offenders. AFP Commissioner Reese Kershaw said, essentially, they have handcuffed each other by endorsing and trusting Anam and openly communicating on it, not knowing we were watching the entire time. And like they said, several years. So you expect to see a lot more of this happening, man, because we get to the end times. It's Revelations 12, verse 12. It says, therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil was come down into you having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. So the devil's gonna come down, man, with different fees, rounding people up. They're going to come down with a great wrath upon the earth because they know that their time is short. They can see the prophets waking up. They can see the chariots, having encounters with the chariots of the Lord, which they call the UFOs. And they can see that we're getting to the end time and they're about to be taken out. So therefore, they're about to start making big boy moves, man. Big boy moves. Like, they talking about stuff that they could take out the grid now. They could take out the food supply chain, hyperinflation. They finna start making life-changing moves because they ain't got that much time. So they ain't got time to sit back and wait and let things go gradually. They gotta start. They gotta put it into operation warp speed. They like Trump said. They gotta put this stuff into gear because they time is getting shorter and shorter. Now that they seen the chariots, man, those people behind scenes panicking and they pushing buttons, man, and they making moves to do stuff. So the devil is gonna come down. So you gotta be in the right place spiritually. And you got to be in this truth and have the Lord on your side. That's the only way you gonna escape it. Now this is the book of Psalms, because it shows you how they set those traps out there, and or people fall for it. This is Psalms chapter 10. If I could get to it. Psalms chapter 10, starting at just verse 8. It says, he sitteth in the lurking places of the villages. The whole time he's behind us. And that man of sin going to be revealed for all the sin he did, all the wickedness he did, Esau. It says, in the secret places does he murder the innocent. His eyes are privily set against the poor. So his eyes are set against the poor. He's focused. He's researching. He's studying ways to come up against us. And right now, they're using, and you think they're using things like this to take down criminal organizations. Imagine what they're using behind the scene and infiltrating. We just seen the movie Judas and the Black Messiah. So imagine what they're doing to infiltrate. And they're going to come up against the camps. That's say the Bible. They're going to come up against the brothers in the camps. And they're going to come up with very sneaky and cunning ways to come up against the camps, man. This is Matthew 24, straight to the point. Verse 8. All these are the beginning of sorrows. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and should kill you, and ye should be hated of all nations for my name's sake. So people are going to deliver us up. People are going to be setting brothers up. Esau's going to be, but Esau can't touch the elect though. So we say we the hopeful elect. We don't know who is the actual elect, who is not the actual elect. But, Esau going to come down with that great wrath. That's the point. Verse 9 in Psalms 10, it says, he lieth and waits secretly as a lion in his den. So secretly as a lion in his den. Same thing with this app. He was laying and waiting secretly behind the scenes, like what's on your screen. Essentially, it says they have handcuffed each other by endorsing and trusting a knob, which was an app that the FBI set up just to trap them, and openly communicating on it, not knowing we were watching the entire time. What does the Bible say? He lieth and wait secretly as a lion in his den. He lieth and wait to catch the poor. He does catch the poor when he draweth him into his net, which is like a spider net, he's gonna trap you. It's like a trap that he's setting up that you ain't never gonna see coming. Verse 10, he croucheth and humble himself that the poor may fall by his strong ones. And he uses the strong ones today as his police force, like the APF, Australia. What did it stand for? Australia Police Force, or Australia Federal Police. So they use they strong ones. That's they strong ones that they're gonna come. That's gonna come knocking at your door, put the cuffs on you, put you in the back of the police car, and take you down to the precinct, or take you down. You go into the county building. Until you get sentenced in your court case and all that stuff. But it's just showing you how it goes right along perfect with the Bible to show we got this truth, man. This is in the Apocrypha, 2nd Esdras chapter 16, verse 68. It says, for behold, a burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you, and they shall take away certain of you, and feed you, being idle, with things offered unto you. So this is going to happen to the Israelites, and this is going to happen to some of the elect. Some of the elect is going to, that burning wrath is going to get them and kindle over them and take them, take certain of you and feed you, being idle, with things offered to idols. But the thing is just like what happened with Paul. He was bust out of prison, the angel. So you got to keep that faith, because the Lord could send an angel and bust you out of prison and get you up out of there, So you got to keep that faith all the way to the end, even if it seemed like the end is near for you, like you about to die, you still got to keep the faith, man, because the Lord could save you with 1 second left, before you think that you're finna go out, the Lord could save you, so and even if you got to be a martyr, then you're going to be risen, so you got to keep the faith no matter what, it says, the scriptures say the elect should scarcely be saved, so very, very, like it seemed like it's all over and the Lord saves you. Revelations chapter 2. Ended off with this one, Revelations chapter 2, verse 10. It says, fear none of those things. So don't fear any of those things. You got to keep the faith, which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prisons, which is the same thing you just said in 2nd Esdras chapter 16, verse 68, which goes more into validating the Apocrypha. It says that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death. See, so you got to be faithful. You got to keep the faith even into death. And I will give thee a crown of life, even if you are a martyr. He that has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit say into the churches. He that overcometh shall not be hurt of the second death. Second death, fire, brimstone, those nuclear weapons. He that overcometh, you ain't gonna be hurt by that. So even if you get put to death before it, you still gonna be risen before those nukes go off and be with the Lord and get a crown of life. And 1 Corinthians chapter 15 says they all should not sleep. So some of us is not gonna die. We're just gonna be risen, or like the world says, abducted into UFOs. But we're gonna be saved by the Lord, meet the Lord in the clouds. What's that? 1 Thessalonians 4:17. And be changed in the twinkling of an eye, and then we're going to get our crowns, and then we're not going to be hurt of the second death, because Revelations 15 ended off right here. Verse 1, and I saw another sign in heaven, great and marvelous, 7 angels having the 7 last plagues, for them which is filled up of the wrath of God, which also goes into that the fire and brimstone, that second death. It says, and I saw as it were a sea of glass mingled with fire, and them that had gotten the victory over the beast. So these is those who got saved, that got that crown of life, right? And over his image and over his mark and over the number of his name, standing on the sea of glass, having the harps of God. Because we're going to be praising the Lord. We're going to be in those chariots super up by the firmament, while all the hell and the nuclear disaster and nuclear war is going on earth and destroying the earth completely. So hopefully this has been edifying. I'm going to say salvation to the elect. Shalom.